wants to be king!
Welcome back to the War Room. The other day, one of my clients asked me if I thought that we were going to end up going to war with machines in the future. And he was talking about Terminator machines, no doubt. But as I thought about it, I told him we're pretty much already at war with machines. And he didn't understand and explained it like this. When you look at what's happened in our country, in our culture, pretty much over the world in the probably last decade, how much of it was influenced by technology and how much of that technology is based off of AI. Well, what is AI? That's machine learning, right? And so as you deconstruct all of the de-evolution of American society, the main catalyst that has been used to facilitate this has been machine learning, the machines, the computers, robots. And you can go all the way down, from the pushing of certain narratives, the retraction of others, to the way that this site works. If I say the wrong thing, then the Terminator is gonna either modify it to where nobody can see it, bury it way, 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 way down, or worst case scenario, put me back in the gulag because I went against the narrative that has been programmed into this software, hardware, whatever you quantify this entity that we're at war with. And we are at war. The way that the things that we have embraced because of the way that they're supposed to make our lives more simple, easier, to link us together, to connect us. These things have actually done more to destroy us than anything else that I can think of. And these are the very devices that are being used to destroy us. This narrative that's being spun up, this organized attack on Joe Rogan, is being facilitated by the machine, because the only people that are truly enraged by this compilation video that they put together are those that are the most ignorant of fools. Most sensible and even most stupid people can watch that and realize that none of those things, none of those examples of him using this word that is oh so powerful, none of them sound like he was using it maliciously. Now I know the rule is that if you're not black, you got no business saying it. And as a black man myself, I have to say that has become the most ridiculous, stupid rule that I've ever heard. But I understand it. When you have a victim's mentality and you feel like you have nothing, then you will grasp and hold on to whatever it is that you feel that you own. And black people who hold that narrative to where no matter the context, no matter what, you better not say it. Generally, those people have nothing in their lives because it's simply a word. It's simply a word. And the power that word is given is unlike any other word. There's no other word in our language for sure that has so much power but is abused by those who take so much angst, the ones who get triggered by it the most, the ones that'll go to the penitentiary defending whatever it is that they're defending because somebody said that word. Listen to music that not only glorifies that word, it's used often in the execution of somebody who looks just like them. It's absolutely insane. And what I find even more mind-blowing is when that little dude was running down the street and he punched the expiration ticket on those clowns in Kenosha, there was a white guy standing in a sea of black people screaming that word, and nobody said anything to him. Nobody did anything to him. I'm speechless because I don't understand the rule myself. But this attack on Joe Rogan, this coordinated attack by the machine isn't about racism. It isn't about him spreading information that's not the truth, because those that are screaming for vindication right now have lied to the world for the last 2 years, have destroyed millions, hundreds of millions of lives with lies. It's not about that. They don't have a problem with liars because they're all liars. The real truth, the real reason why this machine has turned its sights on Joe Rogan is because Joe Rogan is a man who dares question the narrative. He asks questions about things. He's inquisitive. He's a learner. He wants to get facts so he can make up his own mind about the way things are instead of blindly swallowing a pill and goose stepping off the cliff because equity, the greater good, science, or whatever bullshit. The reason why they're going after Joe Rogan is because Joe Rogan is willing to call bullshit when he sees it. He's not a coward who hides behind a keyboard or keeps his feelings private while getting on screen and reading a script that the master gives him. He thinks for himself. He speaks for himself. But when he signed the deal with Spotify, he made a deal with the devil because he had to remove certain episodes because people whose views were a little too triggering, they were a little too controversial. When he did that, he was signing a deal with the devil. And now, with this back and forth and apologizing to people who deserve no apology because he did absolutely nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with questioning, especially when everything that the so-called leaders are telling us looks and smells and sounds like bullshit. This whole thing that they have sold us, the reason why so many people are living in poverty, the reason why they've lost everything, the reason why so many people have passed away is because of lies, outright lies. And they have the audacity to castigate this man because he simply asked questions, because he had somebody on his podcast who went against Yoda's narrative, which is proven time and time and time again, not only to be false, but often to be outright lies. So this doesn't have anything to do with any of that. The reason why this machine is going after Joe Rogan is because Joe Rogan's voice is listened to by millions of people around the world. Joe Rogan is a man who's willing to have conversations with people that he doesn't see eye to eye with and get information to try to come to a different understanding, to try to have an input, to have a dialogue instead of saying, you know what, that person doesn't think the way I do, so they should be canceled. Fuck them. They don't like Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan is a man. He's not a beta puppet like all of these men like The Rock, John Cena, that are willing to let the master stick their finger up their ass and move them like a puppet. They bow down and kiss the ring. Joe Rogan doesn't do that. Joe Rogan's his own man, and you dare not be your own man in this country. You're supposed to be a blind sheep. You're supposed to swallow the pill and walk off the cliff. Now, you don't have to agree with Joe Rogan. You don't have to agree with anybody who says or believes something that you don't. But the absolute wrong move is to wish for somebody to be canceled, to be destroyed simply because you do not agree with what they say. This isn't like Fresh and Fit teaching young boys to be toxic. This is a man who simply asks questions and allows people to speak. This is a man who simply gets all the data points and makes up his own decision about what he wants to think, what he wants to believe, and what he wants to do. This attack on Joe Rogan has nothing to do with racism, misinformation, or any of these things, any of these narratives, these tags that they're going to put on to sick the useful idiot hounds after him. It's all about silencing a man who's willing to call bullshit when he sees it and ask questions and encourage people to think critically. You don't have to agree with Joe Rogan, but for your own sake, it would be in your best interest to support this man. Because if he falls, we all fall. If he falls, the machine wins. Out.